Sit, 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 sit. All right. Oh, hi. Hello there, good people. Hi, I'm Jason with Green Country Agroforestry, and just got to refill the bird bath over here real quick. I think I'll water some of this peppermint I'm raising up here. That'll do good. Oh, well, hello there. So today's Wednesday. It's 7:30 in the evening, and of course that means one thing and one thing only. It's time for yet another live stream. How's everybody doing out there tonight? Hello, Moon Sprouts, Sassafras Red. Good to see you guys. I think Sassafras Red is just stopping in. He'll be back in a minute. What's this about? Yukon Sheaf Early Sweet Corn. Sweet corn. I usually don't have a whole lot of luck with sweet corn, but I do like to eat it. Alrighty. So we are out here in the front yard for a change. A little bit of a change in scenery. We would have a look at the bird feeder right there that I still have to fill up, and pecan tree here, a little kiwi plant there. I've got some peppers up there in the foreground. Of course, bird bath, peppermint. Let's see, what's there? Right out in front of me here. Let's see. Right. Oh, over yonder we got a little fig tree and a Szechuan pepper tree. I don't know if you can see those from where you're at there. Alrighty. So I guess I've only got one person in the audience at the moment. That's interesting. We get Nightbot started up. Make sure he gets in here. Eek. That's a bad muffler if I ever heard one. Let's see. Moon Sprouts say planted 3 fig trees this spring. Nice. Had a garden. Hi, how you doing? See, we've got some more people starting to come in. 3 of them. Well, I hope they turn out well for you. Our fig trees we got from the from that store. It was an impulse buy. We were out there a few years ago, and of course during the springtime, usually the time of the year that they roll the plants out, whether it's the right time of year to plant them or not. But you saw these fig trees in the pots and thought, having some figs would be nice if they actually survive here. So we bought 2, and we planted one right over there, and we planted one right there where the Szechuan pepper tree is now. And they produced figs for us that first year, and we went, well, okay, that's nice. And then the winter arrived, and it killed them back down to the roots. And we weren't sure if they had been completely lost or not, but they came back the next year. And we decided that we were going to try to see if we could get them to overwinter. So I got a bunch of burlap sacks, and I got some duct tape, and I got some plastic bags, and we wrapped them. We pruned them up heavily when fall arrived, and we wrapped them up in the burlap, and we packed as much mulch around them as we could, and then we wrapped them up with the plastic bags and held that down with held that together with the duct tape, and then put more mulch around the base of the plastic bag so we could try to keep that tree insulated throughout the winter. And then winter arrived. It got cold. And the next spring, we opened up the bags and had a look, and sure enough, the trees were killed back down to the roots again. So this spring, after that last attempt to keep the fig trees throughout the winter, we dug them up, and move them over to the south side of the house with the hopes that maybe with southern exposure they can survive the winter. Of course, we got really bad freeze this winter too, and they died back down to the roots, but they're coming up again. And of course, while I was digging them up, apparently I didn't get all the roots out, because growing up from the roots that are left behind in the ground, I've got more fig trees coming up. So I've got the 2 or 3 figs along the side of the house now, and then apparently 2 fresh ones out here trying to grow. We'll see. We'll see if they make it. Let me see. No, Joe. Mary is not here with me today. Uh, I'm just making do with the tripod. Oh, is she? Is she out there in the audience? Let me scroll up and have a look. Oh, yep, there she is. She will be right back. Of course, if you look over my shoulder, you can see the folks coming across here from the walking trail. We have this walking trail where the KD rail line used to run, just to the north of the house, and the city converted it into a bike path. There's just dozens and dozens of miles of bike path all along here and up into Tulsa proper. And right now, since they're building the bridge down the street for a new spur of the highway, they've got a detour sign set up, and now everybody that's using the bike path has to detour past the front yard here. So occasionally you'll see people going by on bikes or walking or stuff like that. All right. All right. Sasspress Red is here. He just says hello, just here to listen. All right. How long does that? Well, now see, since you're just here to listen, I can't ask the question. You'll just have to tell us in one of your videos how long that Yukon Chief sweet corn is supposed to take to get to maturity. And then we'll see how well it works for you. I've never tried that particular variety myself. Fresh meat, 60 days. That's not bad. That's really fast, actually. All right. Let's see. Oh, we got 6 people in here. It's just about time to get started. Look at what I got. Here, let me bring this up to the camera so you can see it. Have a look at that, guys. I thought I was done with blueberries, but I'm still getting just a couple more. I know I'm supposed to pick the flowers off of them the first year that I plant them, but we got these rabbit eyes southern high bush blueberries planted this year, and a couple of them decided they were going to make blueberries. So here we go. Let's find out if the rabbit eyes blueberries are any good. It's a little bit tartar than the sweetheart blueberry, but it's a fairly meaty berry. I think that once you have that dried, there'll still be quite a bit of stuff left to it. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Definitely has more seeds in it than these sweethearts. Can you see those? No, they're off on the other side. They're right over here. A couple years ago, we got the this is a hybrid variety, it's a hybrid between the high bush and low bush varieties of blueberry bushes. This particular one was stabilized and it's called Sweetheart, and they're supposed to be ever bearing. They'll produce at least 2 crops of berries every year for about anywhere from 15 to 20 pounds per bush. That's kind of exciting. We got 8 of them and planted them all along the driveway, but we had a bad year last year with the grasshoppers. Just gobbled up everything, and 3 of the bushes died. Or no, sorry, all but 3 of the bushes died. So we have 3 of those type of blueberries, and then we got 8 more of the rabbit eyes blueberries. So that gives us a total of, I think, 11. But it looks like one of the rabbit eyes is dying out. So 10. We'll have 10 blueberry bushes. At maturity, currently 10 blueberry bushes at 15 pounds per bush is 150 pounds of blueberries per year. That might be enough to get us. Might be enough to get us by. You never know, though. All right. So I guess since six people is all we got, that's what we're gonna barely enough. I guess that's what we're gonna go with is six people. So back during the 1920s, there was a fellow by the name of Edward Bernays. He was the nephew of Sigmund Freud, and he got started in a business that he liked to call public relations. There's another name for public relations, of course, and that was the title that he gave to his book that he published in 1928 regarding the techniques that he was using to sway public opinion. Of course, that book title and the name of the technique, the less polite name, is called propaganda. Part of the series of campaigns that Bernays launched on, and he did this all for a profit. Whenever people would come up to him and hire him for his services, he would help them to market their products, or in one particular instance, get the American people excited about the prospect of going to war in Europe. That was for World War One. The company called Beech Nut, which still exists today, um, was having some difficulty getting clients to purchase one of their products, which was bacon, oddly enough. Once upon a time, people ate bacon and eggs for breakfast all the time. It was a fairly common staple. And the reason was because that's what was available. That's what people had. If you lived out in the country, if you lived on a farm, and most people did once upon a time before the Industrial Revolution, then you probably had eggs for breakfast because you went out early in the morning and you checked under the hens, you got the eggs, you milked the cow, you probably had a glass of milk, and there's a good chance that you needed some fat to fry your eggs in. And what was good for fat but bacon? So bacon and eggs was the breakfast of choice for just about everyone, not because somebody had influenced them or persuaded them that that was a good breakfast, but simply because that's what people had. Sassafras Red says he owns that book, and that book is not hard to get a hold of. You can go to the Gutenberg Project and download a PDF version of it if you don't want to actually go out and buy a copy. It's actually not a really remarkable book. It's fairly bland and dull reading. But Bernays' insights on the human mind and the way people can be persuaded to do things is interesting. A little bit disturbing, but interesting. Well, Bernays went and he got several doctors to write out statements to the effect that they believed, in their opinion, that a good hearty breakfast with lots of protein was best, the best way to start the morning. And so, based upon that recommendation from I think somewhere around 5,000 different doctors, the advertising campaign promoting a good hearty breakfast with bacon and eggs got put out to the American public. And now people typically think of bacon and eggs as being what you have for breakfast. Of course, we've added to that since then, haven't we? Now we have insert your brand name of cereal here, and along with a glass of milk and orange juice. Don't forget your orange juice. Citrus growers, got to have that money in there. And milk, of course, from the dairy farmers. We now have the idea that a good balanced breakfast needs to have some of this cereal in it as well. All of this is mass marketing and media, convincing people that this is what you need to eat for breakfast. And in reality, what you should be eating for breakfast is what you have available. But this sort of dissemination of information that flows down through media to the mass consciousness to us as individuals whenever we go out and make our choices to do things like pick what seeds we order to grow in our gardens is influencing us constantly and all the time. The idea of what we think a garden is supposed to be, the idea of what we think we're supposed to be growing to put in our salads, the idea of what we think we're supposed to be having for breakfast. And the fact of the matter is, since it's all broadcast with somebody lining their pockets at the other end of the entire chain of events, you have to start to wonder, are the things that we buy to grow in our vegetable gardens really the things that we ought to be growing and buying in our vegetable gardens? Or might a better technique be start out your first year growing your garden by getting a wide variety of everything and find out what's going to grow best for you? and then tailor your decision about what you're going to grow and put on your dinner table or your breakfast table based upon what you're going to be able to have available. Because people are just banging themselves up against a wall trying to get certain crops to grow whenever they're not going to grow well for them. Either the soil's not right, the climate's not right, the season that they have to grow in is not quite right. But once again, over and over and over again, we keep on trying to force our perception of what we should be growing onto the garden space itself. And then whenever we fail, we get discouraged. And then we go running back to the supermarket that has all that wonderful produce for us. The fact of the matter is, for most of us, it doesn't really matter where we're at in the world. The things that we find on the shelves at the supermarket are not what we're going to have available if we're being honest with our own capabilities about what we can produce and what our land can produce. It's just not what we have available. And if we try to make our situation fit the grocery store shelf, we're going to experience failure. And if you're depending upon what you grow for food, then that's a very serious failure. Let me have a look at our comments here. Joe's saying, breakfast of champions. How then did some people, hang on. How then some people get to eating oatmeal or cream of wheat? Oh, no, once again, that's what was marketed. It was what was advertised. Oatmeal and cream of wheat are not things that just about everybody is going to have readily available to them because they have oats growing nearby or they're growing wheat nearby. Now, once upon a time, Kansas grew an awful lot of wheat. I guess they still do grow an awful lot of wheat. But if you were a farmer in Kansas, you probably had wheat available. Maybe for the farmer in Kansas, cream of wheat would be what you would go to for breakfast, simply because that's what you had. But 9 times out of 10, what we're looking at here are people that have moved to the cities during the Industrial Revolution. They've abandoned the farms. Now they're looking for things to be brought to them that they can have for breakfast. So what's available is whatever's at the supermarket. If you can't move the product at the supermarket, then it rots. So they have to make sure, we're talking about the people that are trying to sell things to you, they have to make sure that that's what you reach for and that's what you buy. A person that's living out in the country, getting all their food from the land, doesn't need cream of wheat. They don't necessarily even need bacon and eggs. They need whatever is available. Now, for me personally, I've shown you recently what I typically have for breakfast or lunch or whatever time I get out of the house and walk around and start collecting my food fresh daily. I'm a little bit short on berries at the moment, but the flowers are going strong. So I have about a quarter pound a day of various food, berries, flowers, onions, and things like that. And then the rest of it is mostly nuts and the odd assorted other thing. Of course, these nut trees won't be producing heavily for a few more years. I'll probably maybe get 20 or 30 pounds out of that one this year. Yeah, probably about 20. Hazelnuts like this one here are coming along. These ones are only 3 years old, and they're starting to produce more little baby hazelnut trees, so I'll have even more hazelnuts soon. Before too awful long, we'll be eating a lot of hazelnuts. But right now, I'm eating a lot of, not pecans, I'm eating a lot of peanuts. So many thanks to all the peanut farmers, particularly Tony Walsh down there in Georgia, for the good work that you do. I'm trying to work on moving my own diet to more of the things that I can produce here. I do have some peanuts growing, but mostly it's going to be the nuts from the trees. And I'll get most of my protein from, unless I start shooting squirrels. Because people aren't cheap at first. Yeah, there you go. Breakfast for dinner once a week. You should drink only Florida orange juice. There you go. Breakfast of champions: oat cakes, egg, water, and a dram of whiskey. How much is a dram exactly? that like, is that an ounce? Is it 2 ounces is a dram? Okay. Joe's asking, has anybody tried making cream of wheat not with ordinary cow's milk, but with coconut milk? Hmm. Sounds good. The coconut milk is made by taking your coconut and splitting it and taking the water and some of the nut meat and blending it all together. Kind of the way you would make almond milk or hazelnut milk or pecan milk even. Hmm. Okay. Oatcakes like pancakes but made with oat flour. Yeah. Okay. Hmm. Soaked oats, ground nuts, bit of oat flour, fried in bacon grease, and topped with honey. Sounds like it'd fill you up. Mary's got a flat tire. Oh no. Yeah. About 3 fingers, give or take, is a dram. Oh no. Well, at least that's your measure. All right. Squirrels are tasty. If they keep eating my peaches, I'm gonna eat them instead of peaches. Yeah, that's typically what I tell them too. If I see them wandering around in the garden, it's like, hey, that shumik tree over there, the berries for that shumik tree, all for you. All those oaks over there, those acorns, all for you. The wild pecan and that green belt over there, it's gonna make a couple 100 pounds every year, all for you. But the stuff that's here between that fence and here, that's for me. If you eat my food and I start getting hungry, well, I know you're made of meat. Oh, oddly enough, I haven't had to tell a squirrel that particular bit of information once. Usually they turn around and they run off. It's the groundhogs I'm having problems with. You just can't talk to them. They don't care. They think the rules don't apply to them. All right. So our objective here is to try to avoid propaganda or try to avoid being unduly influenced by the propaganda and take a serious look at what it is that we can actually really produce instead of trying to let the popular opinion convince us to try things that we aren't actually going to be able to accomplish. Because if you want to be able to eat what's available for breakfast, you have to grow what you can grow. And right here in 7A, we can grow pecans pretty well. Even in a year of the rainy summer, we've got pecans growing. The blueberries seem to be doing okay. They're still young, so they're not producing a lot, but as they get older, they'll produce more. The strawberries produce pretty well for their first year, and they're producing a lot more strawberry plants, which means next year the harvest will be even better. Um, Goji berries seem to produce okay, although I gotta tell you, I don't really care for the goji berry. It's loaded with vitamins, I know, but it's just I don't like the flavor as much. Soon enough, we'll be having our blackberries and raspberries coming in, and I do still need to come up with currants and gooseberries. Hopefully, I'll have a berry to go with a flower to go with a savory component for every month of the year while we're going from spring till fall. So I have fresh food during these months that we grow, and then of course we'll have our storage food in the form of nuts and dried fruits and berries whenever winter arrives, and that will be what we have on hand and what we have available, which is not the usual food, but it's still very wholesome and very nourishing. So there we have it. All right. Sassafras Red grew oats this year and is wondering if anyone's in zone 4 or 3, wondering about short season cold tolerant varieties. Um, well, Motorcycles, gotta love them. If Mallory from Quebec Homestead was on right now, she could probably tell you some of the things that she's trying out. Uh, Quebec Homestead Quebec Homestead is QUEBEC space Homestead. Um, she's got about 500 acres up there and grows all kinds of interesting things. So it's worth checking her out if you're looking for some short season varieties. And I've got bugs visiting me here. If you are what you eat, you're a fruity nut. There you go. Mm. Oh, let me see here. All right. Red's asking what the skies are like. Well, I mean, you can see behind me, we've got kind of a light blue with a little bit of little dusting of clouds here and there. There's a bit of a haze off to the west at the moment. Yeah, I guess a bit of a haze to the east too. That's a bunch of really high up clouds, cirrus ice clouds up there. It's not bad though. It's not bad. All right, what time we got here? Oh, almost 8 o'clock. Wow, time just flies. So, you guys want to see what Mary ordered up and had shipped to us? I'm gonna wait for that one. I'll do that one last. I don't know what's in that bag, but it looks interesting. All right, so time to find out what Mary shipped to us this week. Sometimes she likes to throw in weird stuff just to see if I will pull it out of the box on camera. Oh, looky here, we got something. This is for me. Boy, this is Temple of Heaven China Green Tea Special Gunpowder. This is well, tea, Camellia sinensis. And this is tea without tea bags. It's green tea, kind of granulated. And I mean, it's whole tea leaves, but they've been dried into little tiny pellets, all of about a uniform size. You take this and put it in your tea ball, soak it in your water, and you've got a pretty good green tea. That's what I've been drinking mostly instead of coffee recently. Although I do still have a little bit of coffee, just not as much. Oh. All right, now let's see. This one arrived. This one arrived this morning. I have no idea what's in here. Hopefully, it isn't anything too naughty. That's okay. I'll open it from over here. Mm. All right. What do we have? What do we have? What do we have? Ah. Now this is something that I don't grow yet, but I should. We got a jar of. Oh, you can't read it. It's a jar of sesame oil, high temperature oil. I haven't started trying to grow sesame seeds yet, but I really should. What else we have in here? We've got vitamin C plus zinc. All right. There's going to be a wide variety of stuff in here. Let's see. This has got to be. It's got to be for Mary. These are. It's all written in Chinese, whatever it is. I think this is a green tea packets, like instant green tea. That's for her. Of course, she's got some more stuff here for a couple more of those containers of yogurt. Oh, this is for me. Oh, deodorant. That's about it. Okay. Yeah, sesame oil. Boy. It's one of the special components in our double saute pork and cabbage. Let me see. Oh, Just got some more people who came on. Oh, John got his internet back. Let's see. Tea party in a box. Thanks, Robert. We tried growing tea, and yeah, I don't know. It might have been just the that first attempt that we made, but we spent a little bit much on it. I got 8 different plants, put them out there, and they all wound up dying on me. And that may be entirely my fault because I am a horrible gardener. I know people keep on saying I'm a good gardener. I'm not really a good gardener. I'm pretty lousy at it. Oh, oh boy. All right. So it says that we lost our connection to the camera. So give me just a second here. Let's see if I can get it restarted. Let's see if that worked. Dun, dun, dun. All right. Okay. Close that. Start camera. Start camera. There we go. There's that camera. We're on our webcam now. All right. Pardon me a moment. We're going to go try to get our other camera to reboot here. Be just a second. All right. Okay. We've got a USB camera. There it is. All right. Dun, 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 dun. I got to check our mic and make sure the mic is still working properly. Check, 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 check. Okay. All right. We're back on. Sorry about that. For some reason, we lost our connection to our camera. Yeah, I'm a lousy gardener. I know people like to say differently, but I've got so many fails, and trying to grow tea was one of them. I may try it again in the future, but for the moment, I'm attempting to get Yopon holly to grow out here, which is at least native to North America. All right, we got John at Conrad Farms. Just got his internet back. Hi, John. Let's see. I'm back. Yay! Darn cat. I don't know if it was the cat or not. Yeah, I guess it could have been. Let's see. Hello, Tina Ladybug. All right. I don't know where. Oh, there he is. Hi. Hi, Sarge. How you doing? Come here. Come here. Say hello to the good peoples. Say hello to the good people. Sarge came to live with us. When was that? 2000 and 2005, 2006, somewhere around there. So, and he was at least maybe a year old then. So 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Leave the cables alone, buddy. Leave the cables alone. You just chill out. You just chill out there, buddy. Yeah. So anyway, hi, Serge. Oi, there you go. Behave yourself. Behave yourself. Don't go unplugging our cable again. Um, well, John's correct. The more you fail, the more you find out what it is that's going to work for you, what it is that's going to grow for you, and that's the way you find out. Uh, I'm not going to say 100% with 100% certainty that I can't grow tea here. It's just so far the one attempt that I've made didn't work. So I might go back and revisit attempting to grow the tea plant again. I would like to see some Camellia sinensis, those pretty little flowers on a nice little tea bush. Uh, and it might just be that the ground wasn't ready for it at that time. We didn't have this pecan tree here. We planted them all across the front, out here behind me where you see the sweet potatoes growing, and those well, actually, it was right there where those asparagus ferns were. So the asparagus there, that's where we had the tea bushes. It was all exposed to the heat and the ground under there not being very good at that time. I hadn't started to add the mulch in yet. As a matter of fact, that was the very first year that I tried adding mulch. So they wound up not doing really well. Don't buy eight. Yeah, probably a good rule of thumb, and you can learn from my mistake. Whenever you don't know whether something's going to grow well for you, don't go running out and buy eight of them at like $15 a piece. But if they had worked and they had grown, we would have had a nice little hedge of tea running all across the front, which would have made me very happy. Uh, but but you learn. And some years are different from others. For example, usually I don't have any problem growing cayenne peppers, but if you look right over there, see that little tiny dinky cayenne pepper plant that's on the ground there? It's barely even started. It's got some peppers on it, but they're the plant's this big. It's a tiny plant. It's just been a horrible year for growing cayenne peppers. Uh, my bell peppers that I started indoors, I moved them outside, and they're making peppers, but they're a lot smaller than I would hope for. Um, just simply because this has been a bad year for growing peppers. However, I'll say this: my neighbor across the way has been growing jalapeno peppers, and his peppers are doing great. So, um, yeah. All right, Joe is asking if tea is tropical. No, it's a temperate plant, temperate climate plant, but the weather patterns are different in China where the tea is from. So it's temperate, but it's not used to the way we have weather here in Oklahoma. Technically, we're zone 7A, technically, but we wind up with Arctic cold in the winter and we wind up with really high temperatures in the summer too. So it's all it's all variable. You just really have to, go out and find out what's going to grow well for you where you're at. Uh, don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to dream. My idea is dream bigger than your capabilities. Plan bigger than you'll be able to do. Plan more than you're able to do. And then whenever you don't meet those expectations, don't get upset about it. You are already reaching beyond your grasp, and then you can accomplish great things. All right. Yeah, Texas heat, Minnesota freezing. Exactly it. That's it, Mary. Um, How to Garden says my tea hedge is doing well. I've had several cups. Nice. Hello, Granny Moreno. Do I mean crazy? No, Oklahoma has crazy weather every year. Crazy weather is normal for Oklahoma. This year we're having crazy weather for Oklahoma. So, all right, Kitty. Yes, you're a wonderful kitty. He wants to be a lab cat so bad. So what we're doing, we're trying to figure out how old he is. Came around 2006, 2007. No, it was 2007, wasn't it? No, no. Wait. 2006 going into 2007. That was whenever we had that big ice storm. Yes. Okay. So 10 would be 2000, 10 years would be 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21. So he is at least 14 years old, this kitty cat here. He's an old kitty. Let's see. Robert's saying tea will grow here. Oh, you hear those cicadas? Tea will grow here. They were introduced to the South years ago, but it does grow better elsewhere. All right. May as well try them. Uh, I think they don't handle that really high heat without water. Might have been the problem. The soil right there before I started adding the mulch was mostly clay and rocks and not a whole lot of organic matter. So there wasn't really anything holding the moisture in. So if we went a day without watering those plants, they were suffering for lack of water. This is one of the outdoor kitties. He's just He's just here to hunt squirrels and gophers and moles, but he doesn't do anything about groundhogs because they scare him. Ah, hi, kitty. You don't do anything about the groundhogs? Yeah. Are you hanging out around here because you know that if I pet you, it's going to remove all that shedding hair that you've got that's annoying you so much? Is that what it is? He he likes to have me go and pick the stickers and stuff out of his fur. Ah, neighbor's got outside for a moment. He's got his granddaughter over to visit him. Hey, kitty. No, no. Why do you always have to go right to the cords? Oh, I saw that. Getting overstimulated. Stop. Stop. Leave the cords alone. All right. Let's see. Understory plant at the southern edge might work, maybe. I kind of have a similar feeling about it. I think they would benefit from a little bit of shade, either the southern or eastern or western, maybe more eastern or western sides of your overall planting. But I think the next time I try it, I'll get three, and then we'll just see what we wind up with. Kitty, psst, go on with you. Come on, shoo, shoo. Yeah, go to get yourself a drink of water. There you go. Hmm. So next time I get to you, we'll get three plants. We'll put one on the east, we'll put one on the south, and we'll put one on the west, and see how they do with some dappled shade and different facings. See if they survive. Oh, hey, we're not done opening packages yet. Hey, take a look over here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And we talked a couple months ago about that idea of what a garden should be. And a lot of people, whenever they're thinking about how they want to plant their garden, they're thinking a miniaturized version of a farm. You know, on a farm you have the rows and rows of crops. And so they're thinking that a garden should be just like that, rows and rows and rows. But what works well out there on a farm doesn't necessarily work so good for your backyard. Ultimately, just try to tailor your applications to what it is that you're capable of doing. If you work 40 hours a week, do you have time for a whole lot of annual crops that you're going to try to grow? One of the reasons I like going with perennials. They don't require as much time and attention. You can do other things with your time other than just spend it all trying to hopefully prevent your annuals from dying, especially whenever the weather's crazy like it is now. All right, so we got these. This is a vitamin D3, 2,000 international units per tablet. Typically during the winter, I'll take 2 or 3 of these a day. Great for making you feel good. One of the reasons you get kind of blah in the winter is because you don't get any vitamin D. You're not getting any sunshine. Gives you seasonal affective disorder. So the supplement helps. Huh, what do we got here? More coffee. This is for Mary. This stuff has turkey tail and reishi and I don't know what else in it. Oh, and this is all for Mary. Triscuits. These are what are these? Rosemary and olive oil Triscuits. Not a bad flavor. If you're looking for something to supplement your diet with whenever you're hunkered down in your bunker, have some Triscuits and peanut butter. That'll get you through. Let's see. Cat Garden said I had to prove my soil a lot for tea. Cat was a good distraction. Okay. Yeah, back up here. Let's see. Sass Red says I would plant east side, block that west and north wind. Guess it really depends. Where's the wind going to be coming in from? Robert's saying plantation trees are kept small and pickable, but they get far too tall to pick from. Yeah, if you don't stay on top of your pruning, it'll get away from you. Coffee is going to be going up. Drought in Brazil and Vietnam has shipping issues. Well, I hear tell that there's going to be some supply chain disruptions all over the place. I mean, going back to where we had a whole bunch of corn not get harvested for a couple of years in a row here in the United States. Other countries also are having issues. Some countries are talking about not doing the usual exports that they usually do of food items. That's got some people worried. What do I have here? Ooh, oh, thank you, Mary. Mary got me something. She got me a jar of crystallized honey. That's nice. So now I can have my honey in my tea, and I don't have to dip the spoon into the jar of liquid and make it sticky everywhere. Let's see. What? 175 pesos a box. Good Lord. Let's see. All right. All right. That smells weird. Mm. It's a 1 pound jar. It says it has cane syrup and honey in it. So it does have a little bit of regular sugar, a little bit of cane sugar in it, unfortunately. Well, at least they admit to the cane sugar content, right? All right. Sass Press Red says we eat eggs for breakfast and bacon or eggs and fruit pancakes. Oh, I know. Yeah, it had a little bit of cane sugar in it. Aw, darn it, poo. Darn it, poo. Oh, I was looking at a company that we could order granulated honey from, crystallized honey, and it's actually the people that are raising the bees, and the cost per pound for crystallized honey is comparable with liquid honey, but you don't have to worry about the mess as much. I think. Hmm. You can order 50 pounds of it at a time. They'll probably last me a while. Can I buy coffee trees? I can, but they're not going to grow very well here in Zone 7A. If I had a greenhouse where I could keep the temperature up year round, then I'd be able to grow them. But no, I can't really grow the coffee bush, coffee tree. I guess it's like a small understory tree, pretty tall. If you don't trim it, yeah, you can buy the plants. It's just a question of keeping them alive. Can't grow black pepper here without a greenhouse. I'd have to keep it in a greenhouse. But once we get a decent greenhouse built where we can maintain, say, a zone 10, somewhere between zone 10 and zone 12 environment inside there, at least most of the year around, I wouldn't mind having some of the things that are more tropical. Uh, Vanilla orchids, for example. I'd like to have vanilla. I'd like to have some actual black pepper. Not that there's anything wrong with using the leaves of the Sancho uh, pepper tree over there as a black pepper substitute. It does taste like black pepper, but I don't know that it has the exact same ingredients as black pepper, the chemical components. All right. How Garden says, I have coffee, but it doesn't like cold and they have to protect it from frost. Yeah, there you go. Alrighty. Let's see. We haven't had any birds come by and visit this feeder. I wanted to talk about that a minute too, but let me get up here real quick and restock the feeder. Oh, you see the sunflowers back there? Yeah. Sunflowers back here behind me. The yellow sunflowers. Oh no, we lost our camera again. Oh, yeah. Let me go ahead and go to that. Oh, is that it? Ta 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 ta. Okay, we're back on. Darn cat. Hmm. Let's see. Really quick. Let's see. Joe's asking about ramen noodles. Yeah. Awesome, awesome. We kind of like rice noodles for storage. If you're looking for something to put in your prepper pantry, rice noodles go pretty well in storage. Ramen noodles most of the time are fried, and so you have to treat them just like dog food. They're good for about 6 months, and then they turn rancid. So if you're getting a good deal on ramen noodles from somewhere, they're probably trying to move them quick before they spoil. Hmm. So keep that in mind when you're buying ramen. Now we do have something called buckwheat, which I don't happen to have any that I can point the camera at quickly to show you. Well, right there at the base of the camera, I've got some growing. We have pink soba buckwheat, which we can use to make soba noodles, which can be substituted for ramen noodles. Uh, so we'll see how that works out. I'm just getting a couple of plants started this year, and in the years to come, we'll see if they do the trick. If nothing else, it's another type of bird seed that I can feed to the birds. Soba soba, pink soba buckwheat. The kind of buckwheat we have is a pink soba buckwheat. So it's a buckwheat that makes lots of tiny little pink flowers. And hopefully, whenever they gets going really good, people will look at that and go, "Oh wow, look at all the pretty little pink flowers on your pretty little on your pretty little plants you have growing in your yard. Oh, you have such nice flowers." I really like the idea of growing things that people will look at and that they think are just here for ornamental purposes, but are actually food. All right, let me see here. Back up a little bit. Oh, yeah. Add some more bird seed here. We've got sunflowers, of course, like they have growing behind me. We've got some milo, a little bit of millet, a little bit of cracked corn. Got a couple examples of millet growing here and there around the place. Of course, we've got buckwheat as another potential grain, sunflowers, and we had some soldier fly larvae to that as well, in the hopes that maybe some of the more dedicated insectivores would come out. But apparently, birds have got it kind of bad this year. Here we go. Yeah, I've been hearing stories of massive die-offs of various species out east, blue jays and grackles, starlings. Of course, I by golly, we lost our camera again. Hang on, there we go. Uh, I have a hard time. I have a hard time getting too upset about grackles and starlings and blue jays dying off. Most of the time around here, those are our pest birds. The blue jays might come after my strawberries, so I'm not really happy with blue jays. The only thing I like blue jays for is they do occasionally feast on grasshoppers. So they do have that going for them. Neighbor calls them pretty little blue crows. But other birds, maybe, if they're having problems, that could bode ill for us in the future because we're relying on those birds to make sure that we don't get overrun by insects. All right, let's take a look here. Soba soba. Yeah, Mary says Japanese style foodscape garden. I do like a lot of Oriental food. Uh, I don't know what it is. Maybe partly the simplicity of it. It's good, simple, filling, easy to grow. Daylilies and Szechuan peppers and I don't know. We'll see how easy the soba noodle is to grow. Okay. Sass Persuade says I have a patch of regular white flower buckwheat. Is it a perennial or an annual? Joe says found a cereal made with buckwheat, quinoa, and chia seeds, made in Italy. Huh? You know you were going to love it. What about more than a 600-gram packet? That's a little over a pound. It's kind of cool. Chia is Salvia hispanola, and it grows really well in zones 10 and south. So in Mexico, I think you can grow chia pretty well. You probably wouldn't be growing quinoa down there. You'd be growing an amaranth, which is I don't know if you can see on the other side of the country back there. Let me walk back here and sort of shake the tassel of this plant and see if you can spot it from there without me moving the camera around because I don't want to disconnect it. All right, so just let me know if you can see this plant I'm getting ready to walk over. Right over behind the tree. There's one here. There's another one right here. You guys see those plants back over there? Those playing around with the ones with the red flowers on the top. Um, I'll just have to get them into a video here in the next day or two because they're starting to show their flowers. I've got some amaranth back there. That's a elephant trunk amaranth. It's got this wonderful reddish, almost burgundy purple flower head that gets to be probably about a foot and a half across and a good 3 foot tall on top of a plant that's about 4 foot tall. So if they get big enough, then they'll be monsters. About a pound or two of seeds per plant. Um, Amaranth is related to quinoa, but that's the flour cereal grain substitute that they would have been growing all over South America thousands and thousands of years ago. Still an excellent source of omega threes and pretty easy plant to grow. It is an annual, but it reseeds itself so readily that I have not had need to plant any deliberately for several years now. Those were all volunteers back there. This nice little neat line of them. All I did was come by after they'd sprouted and thin them down. So I had 5 plants, which is 5 pounds of seeds. Good Lord, that's more than I'm gonna need. Um, really great for growing microgreens in the winter if you wanted to have a good plant to keep around to grow your own microgreens. If that's part of your survival pantry idea, and you want to have microgreens available, amaranth is a good plant to have. There's another one right there, and I am just getting mobbed by mosquitoes tonight. There's another one right there, another one there, another one over there. These guys immediately around me haven't started to flower yet, but once they do and they produce, you can top the flower off or top the flower head off, put that in a large tote container to catch your seeds, and then just sprinkle them onto your starting tray whenever you're ready for your microgreens. Get them to sprout, and you'll have fresh greens in the winter. All right, let's see. Red says we have random rye come back. Huh, pretty good. So it's reseeded, rye reseeded. I wouldn't mind having some rye. I would not mind having rye at all. We've got lamb's quarter. I've never collected the seeds from the lamb's quarter. I imagine they're probably dinky, little, tiny, smaller than 1 millimeter each. Things kind of like the amaranth is. You gonna get up there and get yourself a drink? Huh? Go on, get up there. Get up there. You don't need my permission. Go get a drink. Nut. All right. Uh, Mary's saying you can eat the middle of cattail like a. She's talking about the reeds, Kitty, not actual cats. He's getting himself a drink just outside the camera. He didn't hop all the way up on the bird bath like he does sometimes. Sometimes he'll hop up there and balance on it. Well, right there where that bird bath is, we're gonna put a pond in there, and we will have some cattails in there. The the reed, not you know what I mean. Cosmic Cultivator has the Love Lies Bleeding Amaranth. That's one that has just a trailing sort of how to put it, a strand of flowers that cascade over, and typically the Love Lies Bleeding are red, just like the elephant trunk amaranth are. Although I have seen some varieties that have that same style of flower that have green flowers, which is kind of odd. But if they don't have a lot of pigmentation in them, they make a much better salad green. Young amaranth is really good for salad greens, but after it gets older, it becomes a little bit more bitter. Joe's saying, "Do you like pad thai?" I well, yes, a bit. Uh, when I was in Thailand, I got to eat out at the street restaurants on several occasions, and the food's pretty good. Yeah, little shrimp, little rice, and a fried egg on top of everything. It's just really simple stuff. All right, we are at 8:30. Everybody's going. Oh no, not everybody. Red's going. Good night, Sassafras Red. Let's see. That's about it. All right. Well, I can see the moon. There's a little sliver of it up there. That's going to be getting dark here before too awful long. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. So I'm going to call it a night myself. Get all the equipment packed inside. Put the groceries up. And hopefully, the next time somebody is trying to persuade you to make up your mind about what it is that you're going to grow in your garden, what it is that you're going to have on hand, to stop for a moment and remember, just because it's what the popular thing is, just because it's what the cool kids are doing, doesn't necessarily mean it's what you should be doing. Take a look around, see what it is that you can grow yourself, see what's going to be doing well for you so that you can have food available for you. And if that happens to be the popular thing, then okay, fine. But don't let the media and the taste makers unduly influence you. And that's about all I've got for you today, good people. As always, I hope you found the video informative or entertaining, maybe a little bit of both. It's too bad we didn't get any birds to come out and visit us, but I'm probably sitting a little bit too close to the feeder for their liking anyway. John's got to go feed the dogs. All right, guys. Thanks for stopping in tonight. I will catch you next time.